night, everybody. Let's do it. What's happening, hippy dippies? Welcome to a brand new episode of The Play Dead. As always, I'm your gracious host, Davey, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Right? If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time we drop one of these videos, one of those videos, all those other kinds of videos. This episode this week is brought to you once again by me, bitch. That's absolutely correct. And the Golden Road Guitar Course. I made one. I made a guitar course, video modules, charts, fucking backing tracks, everything you need to know for the most part on how I play guitar and how you can play guitar the way I do it. Not with scales and modes. No, pshaw, with shapes and patterns. Because those are easy and simple for our stupid little caveman brains to understand. Don't you understand? Anyways, getting to it, cracking at it. Okay, what we're learning today is the One More Saturday Night, right? So it's really cool. This song it's got an interesting backstory, okay? So it was written in 71-ish, right? It was written originally by Robert Hunter and Bob Weir, but Robert gave Bob some lyrics, right, for this song, and Bob went away and worked on it. And then when he came back to Robert Hunter with what he had come up with the song, One More Saturday Night, Robert Hunter was apparently like, fuck that. I want my name off of it. I don't like that. So there's two different versions of the story. So the first version that Bob tells is that he had taken what Robert had given him and gone away and written the song around it, and it just didn't really resemble what Robert had left him with. So Robert was like, you know what, it's probably best, since this is yours now, that you take it off. But the way Robert Hunter tells it is a little bit more stanky, maybe, because he was like, nah, I fucking hated that shit. I was like, nah, take my fucking name off of it. And it's like, okay, bro. This song is supposed to be the original U.S. Blues. This was the verse that Robert Hunter had written and given to Bob. And this is where he got the idea to call it U.S. Blues. But Robert Hunter was like, absolutely not. You cannot call it that. And then he went and wrote U.S. Blues to spite. It seems like to spite Bob. Okay. And that's just a little bit I know about it. It was first played, ironically, on a Tuesday, October 19th, which is like the anniversary was yesterday. Isn't that interesting? Huh. This video comes out October 20th, 2022. Isn't that interesting? The song was played 340 times. This is one of those like fucking party songs. I know he wrote it to be a party song, but it is just straight up a raucous, booty shaking party song. This is also one of the first rap songs ever. I'm just saying that. That's not a fact. I'm just telling you that this is one of the first rap songs ever, because Bob is fucking spitting, motherfucker. That's right. This motherfucker's spitting. It's awesome. So to get into it, this is what it looks like. So this one's a little bit hefty, right? So we've got an intro lick that I'm going to teach you two versions of it, because it's this kind of, it's kind of like a harmony, the way that they're doing this intro line. And then you've got your verse, your chorus, which is the same throughout the whole song. And then you've got this really interesting instrumental section. We don't really have many of those on this show, but it's cool when we do, because it's very interesting. You can also use this as a solo section to kind of like lead over and stuff, but a lot of the time you just kind of leave it as an instrumental, like fucking pump up section, to where you get to that ba 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 ba. That's where we lead into that, and then that moves into our outro, which has another ba 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 ba. Right? So we're going to go ahead and get into it, because it's a little bit of a thick bitch. We're getting into a thicket of bitch it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to move on into our intro and get it done. Okay, so let's go. All right, babies. So your intro, bam. That's what it looks like. It's pretty simple. It's just two lines that you repeat 3 times, and then on the 4th time, it's got a little wrap around to it, okay? So we're going to listen to the Jerry version first, then we're going to listen to the Bob version, and then we're going to do it, okay? So let's go. what's happening, you little bottom feeder? Okay, so what we're starting with the Jerry intro first, all right? This is what it looks like. All right, so what we're going to do first is how we start that. We're going to start on a slide, an indiscriminate slide. You're going to slide from wherever you want, bitch. You're going to slide up to that 10th fret on the D string, right? Okay, song's in C, sorry, C7. So it's going to allow you to solo in C major and C minor. We'll get to that. But so slide on the D string up to the 10th fret, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit both the B and E strings on that 8th fret. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this half step bend on the G string from the 10 up to the 11. And we're going to go back down to the 10. Yeah, right? Cool. And then you're going to come down and you're going to hit the 8th fret on the G string. And then you're going to hit the 10th fret on the D string. Put that together. You see what I'm saying here? So on that bend, you're just doing like a half step bend. You're not doing a full step. You're doing a half step. Okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to go onto the A string and we're going to do a bow-dat. So that's going to be an 8 to 10 and then a 10 on the D. So running it all together. So you're going to do that 3 times, right? And on the 4th time, okay? So on the 4th time, you're going to double up on that bend, right? Right, and so that's just a little placeholder. You can figure out whatever you want because Jerry would do it differently in bunches of different versions of this song. He has a little different lick on the end of all those. I just end up doing the repeating of it because it's just easier. So you can feel free to make up whatever the fuck you want because I don't care. It's all sunshine and rainbows until somebody gets a fucking stick in the eye, right? So okay, that's your intro for Jerry. Okay, now we're going to do the Bob one. Okay, so what you're going to do for the Bob one is you're going to slide on the D string up to indiscriminately up to the 14th fret, right? The 14th fret of the D string. And then you're going to string skip. You're going to string skip up to the B string, right? On that 13th fret. So, okay, it's that same thing of what we're doing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go onto that G string and we're going to do that same kind of half step bend from the 14th fret up to the 15th and back down. And then you're going to pull off to that 12th fret, right? And you're going to go down and hit that 14th fret on the D string again. Okay? And then what you're going to do, this one's a little bit different. You're going to go on the A string, you're going to go down and you're going to do that, but you're going to do it on the 10th to 12th fret on the A string, and then you're going to hit the 10th fret on the D string. So put it all together. So again, there's that same thing. On the 4th time, you're going to do that same repeating of the bend again, right? So on the 4th time, it'll be... Okay? And that's your intro. That's your intro for both Jerry and Bobby. Okay? And you're done. Mwah. I love you. You've done so great. Right? That wasn't that hard. Nothing's as hard as you make it out to be in your head. Just remember that. Remember that. Okay? I love you. Let's move on to the verses. It's going to be super easy. Let's go.
I went down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. Looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign written by across the heaven.
All right, Bubba. Here we are in the verse. Okay, so for your verses, you just need to know one simple little chord, you simple little peon. Okay, just one. C7. So you've got a C7 here, right? So you've just got your bar C, right? You got your bar C, but you're taking that pinky away. Okay, it's a C7. You've also got a C7 down here. So if you're just doing an A-shaped C, you just turn it into a 7 by putting your ring finger on the D string and your pinky on the B string. They're on that 5th fret, and then barring on the 3rd. That's also a C7. Okay, so how you're doing this, listen and we will.
Went up to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. Looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign written fire across the heaven. It's plain as black and white. Get prepared, there's gonna be a party tonight.
All right, so I was getting into it before we listened to it, but here it is. So you're gonna be able to play this with several different C7s. There's also this little lick that Jerry's doing through the whole thing, and I'll just go ahead and show that to you. But what you're doing is you're using this C shape here up at the 12th fret, right? So it's the same thing as this C, but everything starts back over after the 12th fret, right? So you're using your pointer finger to bar like it's the nut, right? So you're turning your ring finger, your pointer finger to the nut, and then the rest of your fingers make that C shape, right? We're not doing that. I'm just showing you where it is, okay? But what you're going to do is you're going to do a slide with those root notes, right? Like you would be doing here. So you're going to use your pointer finger and your middle finger. Middle finger is going to go on the 15th fret of the A string, and your pointer finger is going to go on the 14th fret of the D string. You're going to slide that up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring those same fingers up to the B and E strings, and you're going to do that. You're going to slide up, right? Okay? And you'll hear that in the backing track, right? So what you're doing there, that's all you're doing. You're sliding up from the 12th to the 13th on the B string, and you're sliding from the 11th to the 12th on the E string. So, and that's the Jerry lick for the verses, okay? But then otherwise, you can just kind of do this C7 thing. So be like, went down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. I looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign, ready to fire across the heaven. It's plain as black and white. Get prepared, there's gonna be a party tonight. And that's your verse, right? So you can just hang on that C7. You can hang on it up here, or you can do this one. You can do, went down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. I looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign. And all I'm doing there is I'm moving my pinky up a half step. And that's a huge thing in funk. It's a huge thing in blues. You can do what you want with it, right? I'm just trying to show you these different inversions to get you more uncomfortable with where you're at. Stop being complacent, all right? You have to practice. You have to practice these different ideas, okay? So don't whine to me. I'm just your homie, okay? Well. So that's your verse, basically. It's just those... And you can always do this thing too with these C7s. And this is something that Jerry does. It's something I do all the time. It's this, oh shit. Went on to the mountain, I was drinking some more. Looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign. But all I'm doing is I'm hitting an F, and then I'm making a C minor and throwing my middle finger on there to make it that C7. Because 7 chords are literally the middle ground between major and minor. They're literally the in-between chord. So that's why you can play major or minor over them. Just a little mwah for you, a little chef's kiss for you, okay? So that's your verse. Now we're going to get into the chorus.
Hey, Saturday night.
All right, it's the chorus. Bow. That's what it'll look like, okay? We're getting a little bit more chordy, but not still not as bad as the instrumental section I'm about to butt fuck you with here in a bit. So let's do that chorus. Listen.
Saturday night. One more Saturday night. Saturday night.
Okay, so see, not bad. So after we've got that, Lord, you know you're crazy, Lord, you know just what to do. Bring up that old Victoria, bring out your rocking shoes, We're gonna go to an F7, right? You can do an F7 here, or you can do it up here, right? You know, you can do it here too, but then you're getting into some weird shit of like doing this kind of thing. You don't always have to, it'd be right there though, but you don't always have to do that. It's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complex when you're doing the C shape with the 7. So for simplicity's sake, you can do this one, the E-shaped F7, or you can do the A-shaped F7, right? So it'll be like, Saturday night up to C7 again. Right, and that's where I like to do that F to C7 thing, right? So,
Saturday night.
Now you can, this is optional. That chromatic walk up to G is optional, but you know, I love to do it. I love to do those chromatic walk ups. So, and then you're going to go to a B flat 7. One more Saturday to back to F7. Night. Hey, Saturday night. Back up to C. It's just that kind of idea, right? So let's hit it again. Saturday night. Hey, Saturday night. One more Saturday night. Saturday night. And then you bust back into another verse. And so this stays that way the whole time. So you even like solo over the verse and the chorus. In the backing track, I've done it for you twice. You have a little bit longer of a solo. You're welcome. But it's really just a short solo. This song's short. This song usually clocks in at like a 4.5 minutes, usually, right? So you're going to jam over those things, and I'll show you how we do that at the end here. But other than that, we're going to go into the instrumental because that's your chorus. Again, this song's pretty simple until you get to this instrumental part in the outro. It's a little different. Even the chromatic walk-ups aren't that bad, but it's still something that you have to, like, you know, add in. You got to do it. You got to add it to your memory. So let's get to the instrumental section. Aren't you ready to fly on the wings of an eagle? How am I doing? All right, so your instrumental section, here's all of it. It's a lot, okay? So where you see that G, A flat, A, B flat, B, that's your walk up into C, which then starts the outro because the C is on the 1, right? Musical jargon, you get it? Okay, so how we're going to break it down after you listen to it. All right, so how we're going to break it down is we start on that C7. Then we're going to go to the E flat. Right, so right here, I like to use these inversions. I like to use this guy, the E shape C7 to the A shape B or E flat, right? So E shape C7, A shape E flat, and then we're going to go to the E shape B flat, right? So we're going to get F. I like to use the A shape F. Do that all again. Stay on the F. So right there, we're just doing a walk up, a chromatic walk up from F to G. So we're going to do an F, F sharp, G. Now we're in G, key change. So I like to do this G up here. And this is more than likely what Jerry's doing in like the Europe 72. This is what I was listening to. So what you're doing is you've got this G here. So you're just barring your finger there on the 12th fret because again, it's the nut, but it's also the A-shaped G. So what you can do then is you're going to throw on your middle finger to that 13th fret of the B string, right? So you're going to do. I like to do those half-step slides. And then you're going to do that basically for a measure. You're going to do basically you would do G 4 times, right? So it's like right? And then you're going to do that chromatic walk up after that 4th time. And what I'm doing is I'm basically adding on a C to that G, right? And if you watch the last lesson on not Fade Away, you already know these kinds of ideas of adding a chord on to another, right? You're taking this A-shaped chord and you're adding on a C-shaped chord for the next, for like the 4, right? So you're going from the 1 to the 4, right? And if you were to move that up, that's the 5, right? So 1, 4, 5. That's the idea, right? So what you've got now is that all you're doing there is you're doing the chromatic walk up from A up to C, or G up to C. My bad. So you're going bum, bum, ba, 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 ba. Right? And that C is what's going to take you into the outro, right? But that's that G, A flat, A, B flat, B, up to C. You can also do that down here. So you can do. As long as you're working your way from any G up to any C, you can do it here. Yeah, as long as you're working your way up from G to any C, I don't give a fuck. Okay, guys? Next, yeah, that's the instrumental part, right? It's not that bad, but it's completely different from the rest of the song and a lot of Dead tunes where there's just this weird instrumental key change area, right? But then where that's going to lead us into our outro, which is kind of like the chorus, but you've also got the C from the last thing leading you into it. It's strange, okay? So we're gonna get into it.
Hey, Saturday night. Hey, Saturday night. Everybody get wild.
All right, baby. Outro, right? So listen, okay? Really listen. Turn your listening ears on, okay? Love you.
Playing on a Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. Everybody getting high. Playing on a Saturday night. One more Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. Ah! Playing on a Saturday night. One more Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. Everybody getting high. Playing on a Saturday night. One more Saturday night.
All right, so the way that's gonna be, like, we hit that ba 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 ba, and then you're on that C7, playing on a Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. We're gonna go to F7, everybody getting high, up to C, playing on a Saturday night, to the G, like always. One more Saturday, B flat, one more Saturday night. Back to that F, okay? Back to C, playing on a Saturday night. Playing on a Saturday night. And then this is where our second chromatic walk up is, right? Into that scream. You're gonna go from C up to F, right? So, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Or you can do it doing your A shapes, right? So starting from this A shape C. As long as you're getting from a C to an F, I don't care where you're doing it. Okay? As long as you're getting there. Don't care where you're going. I don't care where you've been, just as long as you've been doing it right. Okay. All right, right? So, playing on a Saturday night. C, playing on a Saturday. Walk up. Ba, 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 ah! C, playing on a Saturday night. G, one more Saturday. B flat. One more Saturday. F7. Playing on a, and then you just do that. You do the C7 to F7, C7, G7, B flat, 7, F7. That same idea ad nauseum until you're done. And then all you do to wrap it up is hit that. And then you're done. That was one more Saturday night. Okay. So what we're going to do now is you're going to listen to me do the little solo over the backing track, and you're going to go play the backing track after you have listened to the stuff at the end, right? Because you don't skip that, do you? You don't skip the very end of the video where we're going over all the goodies, do you? That's what I thought. So here's the solo. Guys, see, again, not the best in the world. Again, I leave my fuck ups in, all that jazz. So you know that I'm a human. You know that it happens. It's okay. You can always pull it off. You can always come back from it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Play Dead. Please like, subscribe, comment, all the stuff you're supposed to do. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. For real. Like, a lot of people don't get notified sometimes when our videos drop, and that's the way to keep that, keep that running. Right? Please go buy the Golden Road guitar course, $130 to my Venmo or my PayPal, and I send the Dropbox file right over to you. It never runs out. It's never going to go away. May even add some extra stuff to it down the line if there's interest. So it's how I play guitar. It's got the whole half method, chord inversions, charts for all those things, backing tracks. I put a lot of work into it. So, and everybody that's bought it so far has given a glowing review. So, please go check that out. Also, we have a Patreon with just 2 years of extra content, right? So 24 months of extra content. There's probably something like 200 videos over on our Patreon and our Discord. The Discord is where everybody like you gets to hang out, but you have to be a Patreon member to do so. Merch, we have a fall winter line dropping very soon. It's already up, but we haven't shot the commercial for it yet. But you can do that at realbird.company.site. That's where all of our heady merch is for the channel and our brand. Everything is over there. So please do that. You can also, if you want to, you can just donate to the channel directly. If you don't want to fuck with getting anything, you just want to give money, love you. You can do that, okay? So remember, when you're out there, just play dead, baby. And don't be a dick. That's the biggest rule. Biggest rule is don't be a dick, okay? That's all you've got to do. All right, now get out there, play one more Saturday night with your homies on a Tuesday, okay? And just scream your fucking face off, you little banshee. Get out there. Mwah!